Alright, so today we have somewhat of an emergency review. I just came back from Istanbul where I did attend the Chapter 6 gamer convention, and by the way, that was awesome, and I want to thank Layla, Jan, Ozgur, Zulflu, the whole Asus team for inviting me to cover the event with an awesome video coming anytime soon in the next coming hours or days. I'm working on it 24/7. Layla, that's for you. I'm on it. Point is, when I was covering it, I did spot one product who blew my mind, and ever since I've been harassing Asus for them to send me a sample because it's not yet being sold everywhere in the world, and let me review it right away. And they did send one to me. So today, to my somewhat amazement and your great pleasure, we are reviewing the ROG STRIX Fusion 500 headset from Asus. Yes, finally, I am reviewing a peripheral. Finally, yeah, awesome. Well, that intro. So what's the big deal? Why did I absolutely want to do a headset review? That's because of those. I have freakishly huge ears. I mean, a few episodes ago I had a haircut and I said that my ears had invaded my face, and I really truly feel like this every time I do have a haircut. When I was a kid, everybody was making fun of those, and look at that. I mean, I make fun of those all the time. I do provide a lot of air resistance when I run thanks to those things. And I'll say this, other than the look of them, it's very difficult for me to find headphones which will go all around my ear lobe and allow me to have a true comfortable experience. And for a heavy gamer such as I am, it's been, I don't want to call it an handicap, but definitely it's been a challenge. So when I saw the Fusion 500, the first thing I did was, why, those things are big and they might maybe work with me. So I took one of this, who was at the Chapter 6 game event, and I put it around my ears. And hold and behold, it did go. I mean, I cannot hear anything when I put those on. That's how good the noise insulation is. But it did go all around my entire lobe area, which is okay. So I knew there was something special about those. And next thing I knew, I was gaming with them. Now, I've been gaming with a lot of headsets in the past, 20 years. And I think I've just found something good enough to be called game worthy. And you know, for any gamers or professional gamers out there or real enthusiasts, the only item you'll take with you to a game event or to your friend's house or to a game show or to a weekend's multiplayer event is your headphones. You're not gonna go and take somebody's headset or a headset who's been hanging around, because people sweat in them for hours and it's a germ farm and it'll get in your ears and give you, infections and weird sicknesses. And no, you bring your own every single time. And by the way, this is the only sponsoring real estate available to sponsors. So yeah, headphones are very important, and what I'm saying is that manufacturers have been spending a disproportionate amount of resources and time to get it right, both in size, comfort, sound quality, etc., etc., for the gaming community. And Asus, in my view, might have struck the Goldilocks of standards, marrying comfort, technology, and all the above I've already mentioned into one single product. First, let's go to the important, the sound quality. This thing comes with a bunch of different standards, which are on the Asus website and on the box, which I don't understand, and maybe you do, so I'm gonna list them right there. But one which did catch my attention is a 7.1 surround system. And for anybody who's been around headsets which pretend to surround system, it's usually a disappointment, simply because surround system is made to be deployed around you in a large space with different speakers. On paper, it's great. When you put it on headphones, it usually is a very very disappointing experience. But the Fusion 500, I'm going to call it Fusion 500 because ROG STRIX Fusion 500 is a little bit long. So the Fusion 500 comes with a Bon Jovi, I know, technology, patented technology, which comes from Bon Jovi studio. Really, Bon Jovi? Why did you call it Bon Jovi? It's not like I don't like this. Okay, so I gotta get used to this. Okay, so the Bon Jovi studio brought an array, I just say it's an array of patented technology which delivers a very convincing 7.1 surround system on our headphones. Now, is that true? Well, there's no way for me to make you experience what I've experienced, so you're gonna have to take my word for it. But I did try it on Wolfenstein 3D New Colossus and Destiny 2. And my so of course I have this huge 32-inch curved screen which already puts you right in the middle of the action, but I'll tell you this, when an SS was creeping behind me and straight on, I can tell you that the experience was completely different with those things on or off. And talking about comfort, my big fear is because I have such big lobs that they'll be cut off at some point by the pads, and after an hour of game it starts to feel itchy and annoying and sometimes painful. Here, 3 hours and a half didn't feel a thing. And I want to show you something. Look at this. Look how deep the padding is. See that? And sure, there's a joke somewhere in there, but look at this. This is so thick. I feel like my bed should be made of stuff like that, like this kind of, so satisfying. Anyhow, sound amazing, comfort absolutely great. But of course, surround system is not for everybody or for every game. So we have a physical button which will allow us to put it off and on at will. Next item is the boom mic. Again, usually boom mics are not the most developed item and feature on gamers' headphones. In our case, they're fully digitalized, meaning that we can do much more things with our voice in a post-editing environment, but also, and most importantly, they are noise-canceling microphones. Yeah, so when you are in loud surroundings, such as a video game competition or so, it will only catch your voice and noise cancel the surrounding sounds. So again, really aiming at enthusiasts and professional gamers. Now, let's move on to the cool stuff. Other than our little on and off surround button, there's nothing else. So how do you control the volume or any other functions? Well, the outer cover of our left pad headphones is actually a multi-touch screen, and that means we can control our volume up and down, but also our different track options, including forward, backward, pause and play functions. So here is the thing. It did take me some time to get used to the commands, and that's mainly because I had a very bad spatial recognition. Like I didn't know where to tap to get those commands going, but after a few minutes and after some training, it was much more intuitive for me, and I was quite quick to get it going. And finally, here is my favorite part. Yes, this thing is Aura compliant. So for the ones who do not know what the Aura sync effect is, check the Aura compliant video I have posted a few months ago, and which will explain everything you need to know. But in a few words, it will sync the RGB OLED screens on that thing to the different lighting effect in the entire build, and that's including your mouse, your keyboard, your video card, even your screen. So that's something that some people don't like. Sometimes they call it the RGB craze. I love it. I think this is another opportunity for me or for the gamers to creatively express themselves. And that's not an easy sentence to say, but it is. It's super nice. And let me say this. This doesn't only come with RGB lighting, no. Every pads are equipped with a full-fledged OLED screen which can loop up to 16 million true colors. But what if you find yourself on a computer which does not have the Aura native software from Asus? Well, fear not. You can, of course, download the app on your phone and through very magic Bluetooth connection, control the OLED screens on your headset. Now, how about that? Now, the last thing I want to talk about is how robust this thing is. The quality build is where Asus really focused, other than the sound and the OLED and all that stuff. You can tell that they did not rush into production for once, and they did spend quite a time on their industrial process to get the padding and the articulation right, because that is a problem you usually have. Gamers headphones are not aimed to the broad consuming market, so usually the manufacturers tend to cheap out a little bit on those things, on the articulation, the padding, and the adjustable retracts. But not here. This is a well thought, well designed, and well implemented product. In conclusion, let me start with the price. The ROG STRIX Fusion 500 will cost you $180 and that is a lot. Now, is it worth it? It really depends on you and how seriously you're taking your gaming experience. If you're like me and you're playing 10 to 20 hours a week, yes, of course it is worth it. This is actually a cheap way to increase not only your comfort, your experience of the game, of that particular game, or any games you're going to be playing, but also the depth of immersion. Forget about the whole digital microphone or the OLED, the RGB, and the aura sync effect and all that stuff, and focus on the real advances of the Fusion 500. The surround system is well implemented. It really feels like you are in a room with 7 speakers screaming at you in different directions. It does. And that is the first time I have this on any kind of headphones. So just for that, kudos to Asus, and that's a major kudos. The comfort, the fact that paddings can even go around my ears, that's a double kudos. That's another great kudos, and maybe even greater than the first one. And finally, the quality and the comfort of build. Man, like, as far as I'm going, even it's just top notch. It works all the way around. Now, despite all this, I have a couple of reserves. First, there is no wireless capabilities. You are linked and limited by a USB cable. And that's the only way you're going to be able to use this one. And that's great, especially when it comes to latency. I understand that you need a physical wire because even a millisecond of latency, you'll feel it playing video games. Between the shoot and the sound, it has to be very well synced in, and there's nothing other than a wire will deliver on that. But it's such a good product in a way that I'd like to take this with me, I don't know, walking, maybe not running because it's very sweaty, but definitely walking, or even on an airplane. There's no noise cancellation abilities on these headphones. But once you put them on, the padding is so good, you don't need noise cancellation. You are really in your own cocoon. You're isolated from the rest of the world, even if it's off. So, when you're going to put a movie on or anything like that, I'd like to be able to have something which allows me to export it with me. So I really wouldn't mind to pay a little bit more and have this independent built-in battery, which will give me that freedom of movement. And the second reserve that I have is the fact that there is no 3.5 audio jack. And again, we can go in the same argument we went through with the phone industry, saying, we don't need it. But at least they had Bluetooth, at least they had a battery on, so you could find other options. Here, again, if I want to take it with me outside of the gaming experiment, I'll be limited. I'm not going to be able to connect this to my phone, and that really sucks. But again, those are not deal breakers. Those are just wish lists that I'd like to see on the next iteration of this very product, or an upgraded one. Why not a Fusion 600 or 700 just for me? So if you see it, you know you've seen it here first. All right.